so I had to be like, okay, whew, take a step back. And what's so funny is that I've learned, like, there's a lot of drama in life regardless. Like, if you sort of listen to what people talk about, a lot of communications are basically bitching. And, like, you're feeding that negativity. And I hate to say it, but, like, the whole adage of, like, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, it's really hard. Because people are constantly speaking evil. People are it's cool to, like, bitch about something or gossip or whatever it is. And to be able to be like, no, those are still parts of that part of you that's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a good part. I don't know. It sounds maybe cheesy, but...
You guys can on this side.
Hi.
What type of treatment facility were you at
In Mexico? Yeah, it was a hospital. It was a hospital, and there was a gentleman in this country who ran his programs there because he'd been kicked out for working in this country by the FDA, whatever they're called, FDA. Thank you. What was interesting is that it was actually like a working hospital, so sometimes we'd have like newborn babies, you know, on the floor, and all these cancer patients walking around, and you'd be like holding. It was really nice, actually, because you felt kind of normal. I don't know. Hi.
After going through everything yourself, how do you think that children feel about going through something like that and having to not know, like, think in depth about the purpose of life and stuff? Like, how would you relate helping them when they're the kids, like, trying to step back and think positively?
I think, well, I don't know, first of all, because I wasn't a child when I went through this, but I can only imagine not having your brain trying to trip you up every 2 steps is probably really a helpful thing. And I actually talked to people about this in the hospital. I was like, aren't the kids the worst? And they were like, no, they don't know they're sick. Like, they're totally fine. And I think just making sure the adults around them don't freak out would probably be the, you know, don't freak out. Hi.
Do you think going to Mexico helped you that at all?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like, from a health perspective, I have no idea. I mean, I'm here, which is nice. But, no, but from, like, a mental, like, not being close to my family and my husband, I hate to say it, it was really good for me to be like, I can't handle their fear. I need to deal with my own fear. And it's in so many things in life. Once you get your own stuff under control, other people, whatever. So my own fear, getting that under control meant that I was able to sort of be like, handle other people. Hi.
What made you go to Mexico in the first place? Like, who drove you to
Yeah,
do that?
that's a good question. So I started working with an energy healer after my chemotherapy sessions, and the first one I had was pretty bad, and the second one was still pretty bad, and then I worked with her, and it was suddenly like, oh, I don't feel nauseous, I have more energy, and this one's someone that she knew through her world, that she sort of recommended. Yeah. Hi.
Did Dr. Roth survive?
I think so, yes. I know.
Very nice.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah. Hi.
Did you work with a dietitian at all?
Yes. Dr. Roth was a nutritionist as well, so I was, you know, I no sugar. Oh yeah, I didn't. There's a part in this where I'm meeting my bone marrow transplant doctor for the first time, and he's like, so, let's see, he's going through his list of, you know, the questions they ask you. He's like, do you smoke? And I looked at him, and in my head, I was like, I haven't eaten sugar in over 5 months. I haven't had dairy, wheat, you know what I mean? You're freaking asking me if I smoke. Like, what kind of, are you kidding me? Like, you and I are like, woo! Like, so, yeah, it didn't help because I was like, you totally don't know what I'm talking about. Like, you're drinking, and he was drinking a Coke, and I was like, you're drinking a Coke! Like, what's going on? Anyway, hi.
Do you think your sense of humor has helped you?
I don't know. I've always yeah. I was a teacher when I first graduated from college, and I knew it wasn't going to work because I smiled too much. So this is kind of always the way I went. But yeah, sorry, Dr. Carroll. They were small. Hi.
How do you feel about Western medicine now that it
Yeah.
went through the bone marrow transplant?
No, that's a good question. So I kind of am like, sure. The fear that it's going to like kill other parts of you, you know, it's just fear. And like from my perspective, they told me that certain parts of my body were never going to come back. Your hair loss will be permanent. Well, you know, sorry. You know, oh, your ovaries are never going to function again. Never going to function again. And it hasn't been true. So I can believe them when they tell me things that make my devil part of me go, woohoo, yes, let's like feed that for the next month and a half. Like, you're gonna, and then it doesn't work, so, I don't know, life's too short. Hi.
Are you cancer free now or no?
Nobody ever says that to you. There's like, so you go through your whole treatment, and then, you have scans every 6 months or so, and they're like, good job, we'll see you in 6 months. And so you're like, woohoo! And then you like don't think about it for 5.5 months, and then suddenly you're like, So I think the bureaucratic term is 5 years, you're done from bureaucratically, but The thing is, and I know this might be a little weird for you, but healthy people have cancer cells in their bodies. You just have an immune system that can recognize them and kill them. So people who have cancer just happen to have an immune system that's like forgotten to go to work that day. So we all have cancer from that perspective. But you can't even say that without everyone being like, oh God. Because it's the equivalent of the modern plague. See the problem? It's all just feeding the fear of, Yes.
What did you find what your purpose was?
So, I realized, I know this is kind of crazy, well, maybe not crazy. I think your purpose is just to be you. If that makes any sense. Like, what do you like to do? Well, I like food, so I work in the food world. Is the fact that every single person I went to Stanford making a lot more money than I am and think I'm kind of lame make me nervous? Well, if I think about the fear part, okay, yes, I could, But whatever. So I realized my purpose was to just be me and share who I am. So which is why I wrote the book, and I'm really happy to be here. And hi.
Are you doing anything now to prevent your cancer from coming back?
Yes. Well, let's put it this way. Let me change that. Am I doing anything now to make sure I stay healthy? Yes. I am. I'm still working with a nutritionist. I'm still doing, homeopathic stuff, and, I still don't eat sugar. Anyone else? Yes. Way back there.
Oh, do you still hate going to U of M Hospital?
Oh, it's hard, I have to say. Yeah, that whole building, I'm like Pavlov's dog. I mean, it's like... no, seriously. Because you walk in and you're suddenly like, oh God, so I'm trying really hard not to. It's a hard fight. Every time I go in, I'm like, stop it, no, stop it, stop it. I'm working on it. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
So how do you feel now about alternative versus normative medicine? Or do you think there's a difference?
Well, there's a difference in terms of what the FDA tells you is a difference.
To you.
Do I think there's a difference? I think there's a difference in toxicity. I think for me, one of the other reasons I really liked alternative medicine is that they actually spent time with me and talked to me and tried to figure out what I was excited about or who I was. And it wasn't like, you're really sick, we need to get that out of you. All right, great, see ya. And then they'd leave and charge your insurance company 40 minutes for a 5-minute appointment. So I just felt human, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Do you think that helped you more than?
Yeah, I think so. And what's interesting is that I started doing transcendental meditation throughout this whole process. And I was on a TM retreat, and one of the teachers was like, oh, because I needed something. And you don't usually tell people you have cancer because they look at you differently, but I was like, I had cancer and I need to have this medicine anyway, to make long story short, he was like, I know what cures cancer. Have you heard of Essiac tea? And I want to be like, yeah, okay. So the problem is that you have to do the best you can wherever you are. You know what I mean? So if alternative health is where you are, great. If it's not, okay. If Western medicine's where, you know what I mean? Anyone else? Hi.
How long ago was your last treatment?
I received radiation in the summer of 2008. So year and a half ago? That's not so long. Anyone else? Dr.
Thank you so much.